Unbelievable AFC Championship game. Lived up to the hype. NFC Championship game, did not have the hype. Didn't matter. It is Sunday night right after the AFC title, and the Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going back for their chance at a three-peat. Did you hear Nance at the end point out that it's the 5-year anniversary of when Kobe's helicopter went down? That was quite a tie-in. But there's some crazy. Here's the first thing I hate about the game is the "it's rigged" doesn't die, because I was texting with our buddy John Dickinson today, and I said, I think the league has overreacted to the whole everybody thinks on the internet that the refs are for the Chiefs. And that this sudden addition of more replay assist is an overreaction to a silly complaint. And then at the beginning of the fourth quarter, with the Bills leading 22-21, fourth down, Josh Allen sneak gets it. They mark him short. Depending on which official, the near side official is the official mark in that particular situation. But the two officials marked it in two different spots, which of course, like one seeing his back, one seeing his front, one seeing one thing, one seeing another. It is crazy how inconsistent spotting the football is. But it's not crazy because you've got a field that's 50, whatever it is, 51 and a third or 52 and a third or 53 and a third yards wide. And you got people on opposite. So they look at these plays that are 25 yards away from them or more. And, they're on the move and things are happening. And so, but whatever, it shouldn't matter. We have replay assist. In this case, it's not replay assist. It's replay. Do the job, please. And, Josh Allen, from the backside, you can see where his body is. From the front side, you can see the ball, and then it gets obscured by Chris Jones's humongous body. But you can put two and two together. He got the first down. But that said, there was still, 13 minutes left, whatever. And you just had a feeling, that the Bills were just in the simulation, kind of like what my theory on Severance is right now, that everybody else is there around the main character, like, because they need him to stay at Lumen Enterprises. But anyway, so now we got Chiefs. Oh, the life of a Bills fan. Now, fan bases have turned around. The Red Sox had life turn around for them famously. I mean, they were the ones that were cursed, and it turned around for them in a big, big way. But life as a Buffalo Bills fan, the other thing I came away thinking from this game, there's a bunch of things to think about, but from a Niners perspective, there was Steve Spagnuolo again in the biggest moments, screwing things up for the best. Top three, not the best quarterback, but top three quarterback in Josh Allen. The fourth down pressure. The other thing I wanted was like 12 more replays of Dalton Kincaid not catching that pop-up pass. As that ball is flying through the air on fourth down, he thought, oh, this is going obviously nowhere. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's a receiver who could catch it, and it's Dalton Kincaid. And after the game, I finally saw a replay of how close he came to catching it. He came very close to catching it. And I don't think the ball got deflected, the way the ball was kind of floating through the air, and he's diving. And, this stuff looks so easy from our couches. Running towards the ball as it's flying at you. But I'm sure he'll, it was at Mark Andrews level. No, but it's the kind of thing that it feels like he'll be he'll be thinking about for a while. The numbers, and you just go back to it again, like the numbers in the biggest games for the quarterbacks are, this is what they look like: 237 yards, 245 yards. Your 340-yard passing games for the regular season are distant memories, completely irrelevant, have nothing to do with what playoff football is all about. Obviously, you saw again today what we always know: mobility is so critical. Mobility for Mahomes. They went straight back on one of the Mahomes fourth down, on the early fourth down run from his own territory. They went straight back to a game a couple years ago when Mahomes was out. But the first thing I thought of, maybe you thought of this too, was the Super Bowl. And Mahomes faking the give, pulling it, Bosa crashing down, and Mahomes picking. I think that was a fourth down play. It was in overtime of the Super Bowl. So it does feel like in these critical moments, Mahomes running. And you notice that most of the times he runs, he's not running 100 miles an hour. But on that particular play, he ran all out. But he's normally just kind of tiptoeing around. What a performance, man. Like 18 to 26, 245. He is, again, the guy you just don't look at his stat line. A comment from James. Super chat. It's all Kyle's fault. The Chiefs won. So now Nick Siriani is going to coach in as many Super Bowls as a head coach as Kyle Shanahan. And he's going to do it in half as much time. Sirianni's fourth year as a head coach, and it's his second Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan, 8 years. Another way to say it, they both had the same number of NFC championships. 8 years, 2 NFC championships. Sirianni, 4 years, 2 NFC championships. Nick Sirianni. You've seen coaches get to, win a championship or get to a championship and not be, the long-term kind of franchise guiding coaches that you feel like earned is not the right word, but can repeat that sort of performance. This guy has to be one of the most successful coaches that I've ever seen, for whom I can't identify his strength. I don't know what it is that he does exceptionally well. I'm not sure what his fingerprint on the Eagles is. I don't know how he influences the offense or the defense. He has to be the most successful head coach to ever have play calling stripped by the organization from him, not once, but twice. It is unbelievable. And it does shine again a light on maybe, just maybe, the major opportunity the 49ers missed when they didn't make Vic Fangio their defensive coordinator. Comment from Niner Goat. Leader of men probably is his strength, guy. The old Harbaugh leader of men. Except there was a story this year that he and Jalen Hurts can't be in the same room alone. He does not act like a leader of men. It's crazy. It is unbelievable. But here we are. And, for those of you watching on YouTube, I labeled just the image says your enemy's enemy. I don't know. I've seen a few comments from people that say they're not watching the Super Bowl. I don't know why you would do that. I mean, like, to me, even if you have a hatred towards both teams, what happens is you then turn the game on and you watch for a little bit, and then you start to hate one of them more. You go, you know what? I'm going to root for that other team. I do think from a Niners, if you want to look at it from, we spend a lot of time on the Niners here. Not everything has to be through a Niners lens. but we spent a lot of time on the Niners here. I do think you'd rather have the Chiefs win. I think the Eagles winning would make you look worse. And it's really hard to four-peat. But the Chiefs having that story, having that in them, a four-peat, is less dangerous than the revenge game. The Chiefs almost did it. You'd have to go back and look. Like, how many times? Let's see here. Anyway, so is that. Like, I think the Eagles would really, any team benefits from winning, but I think this Eagles team would really feel some, I think it would carry over for them in a positive way next year. I know sometimes you have the Super Bowl hangover. I don't know if that's what would happen with Philly. Maybe it would. Doesn't really matter. I just think Kansas City chasing a four-peat doesn't hurt you. I think the Eagles winning a Super Bowl, that'd be a tough pill to swallow from a Niners perspective. Now, maybe you could look at it with some sort of optimism, given how much they paid their quarterback, who's not a carrier in the way that Mahomes or Josh Allen are. But neither one of these options probably tastes great to everybody. I just want to see, like, how many years did the Patriots, once they started winning them, did they go back to back? So in their stretch, obviously they went a long stretch. They won 2. Then they went a long stretch. They lost 2 Super Bowls. They lost 3 AFC Championship games. Then when they started winning them again, they won in 14, lost the AFC Championship in 15, won the Super Bowl in 16, lost the Super Bowl in 17, and won the Super Bowl in 18. So once they re-upped the second dynasty, in a way for them, they didn't go back-to-back years with a loss. So I guess that's part of my perspective. And I already know what the comments this is going to bring. It's like, how could you, the Niners going to the Super Bowl? That's just the way. If we're going to talk about the Chiefs, you have to talk about them that way, that you might be playing them in the Super Bowl, right? And I'd rather them be going for a four-peat than a revenge loss off a Super Bowl. I have a hard time seeing them lose back-to-back Super Bowls. So, I know a lot of people are rooting for Buffalo and rooting for Josh Allen. And I do think that the Chiefs have a better chance of beating Philly than the Bills would have. Saquon does look. You remember when the Niners got Christian McCaffrey and was like, no, this guy looks amazing. And I'm watching Saquon, not just today, but over this playoff run, going, didn't Christian look this good? It was a couple years ago now. I don't quite remember, but did he look this untackleable? I don't know if Saquon's definitely better, but he's every bit as impactful. And the other thing I thought watching him today was, yeah, he's the MVP. Now that we've gotten to the Super Bowl, like, Mahomes is the MVP or Saquon. Mahomes never wins these things anymore. It's beneath him to win the NFL MVP award. How many years has it been? He won it. Yeah. So Mahomes, viewed as one of the greatest, when it's all said and done, he's going to be a top 3 quarterback in NFL history. He's won 2 MVPs. Is that right? Yeah. 2 MVPs. He's just too, like Andy Reid, he's not going to win the Coach of the Year award every year. James, Super Chat. Why did Buffalo not start the first half with the run game? The QB sneak didn't work 2 times. Why the third? Feel pretty bad for Allen, to be honest. Why did they not start the first half with the run game? I don't know. Ask Jags coach Joe. No, not Jags coach Joe. Ask Saints coach Joe Brady. What job is Joe Brady getting? He did have the first down, I thought, the last time around. Feel pretty bad for Allen. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I'm not a Mahomes hater, though, so, like the Chiefs' success does not cut me to my core. But as a pro official person, I have to admit that this was not the best showing for just the look of the replay assist coming in, replay assist getting announced, replay assist being used, and replay assist kind of failing. Not great. Eagles are the best run organization in the NFL. Simple as that. Always competitive. Howie Roseman, their general manager, with one of the great career comebacks in sports history, was banished post Doug Peterson, basically to the non-football operation side of the building. Chip Kelly took over. His career as the general manager appeared to be done. Hung around, maintained relationships, didn't burn the bridge, came back, and had an all-time offseason and is having an all-time year. I mean, he is a game-changing general manager. He's like Billy Beane, but gets to the World Series. Or in this case, the Super Bowl. I mean, I think you should root for the Chiefs based simply off the tush push. How about, speaking of Chip Kelly, I think I didn't do any research, but I think that rule today in the first game, when the Eagles kept lining up at the 1 and then the 3/4 and then the half and then that whole thing, and the official got on the microphone and warned the Washington defense when Frankie Louvu jumped over twice to try and stop the tush push. The official then gets on the mic and says, "Hey, the commanders have been warned that if they do that again, it could be an unsportsmanlike penalty." And then they don't do it on purpose, but they jump, and then the official gets on the mic and says, and now Washington has been warned that the officials do have the ability to award a score, which I wanted them to do, because to me, if they had done it that way instead of the Eagles actually scoring the touchdown, I think there would have been a greater outcry, and more people would have said, we got to get rid of this tush. We got to get rid of this play. At minimum, you shouldn't be allowed to push the quarterback from behind, right? So, but when they announced that, I think the origins of that go back to the Chip Kelly 49ers. Now, I remember many years ago making a video. Belichick borrowed it from Chip Kelly a couple of years, maybe 2 years ago or last year. When I say last year, I mean 2024. It was 23 or 20. I think it was the 20. Sorry, when I say last year, I mean 23. I think it was the 23 season. But there was a game. It was Niners. And again, I should have looked this up. I think it was Niners Saints. Somebody can correct me. It was in San Francisco. It was the end of the first half. Drew Brees and the Saints are driving. And Chip Kelly's defense employed this tactic where they intentionally held every receiver and took the half the distance to the goal penalty as a way to run the clock out, knowing that eventually, because they don't put time back on the clock for a defensive hold or a pass interference, that if you just held all 4 receivers, even though they get a first down and they move it half the distance to the goal, that eventually the first half, they would just have one play left in the half. And that's what happened. Justin Wilcox and the Cal Bears employed the same exact strategy, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago in a game they played at North Carolina football. And the same thing happened. College football came out and basically said, hey, there is the ability for the officials in extenuating circumstances to see what is not necessarily by the rule book unsportsmanlike conduct, and essentially find some punishment or solution within their discretion to prevent the behavior from happening. And I believe that what happened today was the enactment of a rarely seen rule an amount of freedom that the NFL gave officials after the 49ers did it. So anyway, the 49ers had an impact on the NFC Championship game today. Hey, 49ers got their own good vibes going, okay? Robert Saleh got hired over the weekend. The savior is back. He doesn't play on defense, but he's the savior. My solution is blitz as much as Steve Spagnuolo and save your best blitzes for the end of it. Be in close games. Here's the beauty of the Niners. Much like the Chiefs, who have now won 17 straight one-score games, truly the most ridiculous stat I've ever heard. I mean, it's insane. The only thing more, can you imagine in what year was that? 96? When did Cal Ripken 21-31, 21-32 break Lou Gehrig's record? Whatever year that was, I remember exactly where I was. 95, September 6th, 1995. I remember it very clearly, watching it from my grandparents' house on their 13-inch black and white TV in Silver Spring, Maryland. I was just a pup, but a big Oriole fan. Now that, now it's been a long time. So there's people who don't know about it. We should feed all the NBA Instagram and NBA TikTok and NBA YouTube algorithms with footage of Cal Ripken's 2,132nd career game in a row. We should feed that to NBA TikTok, NBA YouTube, and NBA Instagram algorithms, and just blow the minds of 17-year-old NBA fans. They'd be like, "What do you mean he played in 2,000 straight games?" I don't understand. I don't think they'd understand. They wouldn't understand. So 17-0, the beauty of the Chiefs, Spagnuolo can affect all these games because they play in all these close games. So if you're him, it's like holding your closer. Like, guys, we're going to need him in the ninth. Spagnuolo keeps his best blitzes in his back pocket. We're going to use it later. Well, the Niners play in a lot of these close games. So Robert Saleh should have the fourth down blitz package for when we're down 7. And the other most amazing stat in the NFL is in play: 49er fourth quarter comebacks. Yeah, the worst part about and look at this grinder, producer Connor, who is on who's working from Hawaii, need to campaign to get Spags a head coaching job, has decided to jump into the chat, even though he could jump in and do video, but he's in Hawaii, so he's probably beachside, and drunk. But yeah, that'd be great. Spags get 2 more weeks. I mean, makes it a little tougher. But I'd love for him to get a head coaching job. Any job will do. The Ben Johnson shine, I got to tell you guys, it's a little off for me. I watched his introductory press conference, and I've always believed that I've only seen one person lose an introductory press conference. It's very easy to win an introductory press conference. You don't get extra credit for having a good press conference. It's part of being a functional adult. You should be able to, if you're going to be the head football coach, you should be able to run a press conference. Pete Carroll is going to crush these press conferences. I was just in Vegas. Everybody talking about Pete. And everybody talking about the UNLV New Mexico game on Fox on Saturday. That was the 2 big topics. Jim Tomsula, the only one to lose an introductory press conference. But Ben Johnson's kind of weird. That press conference, I don't know if that press conference was kind of weird. It's like he tried to channel a little Dan Campbell, because everyone kind of made fun of Dan Campbell when he said he'd bite people's kneecaps, but then it kind of worked. So he did the, I can't wait. I enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice, or watching Matt LaFleur lose twice, or whatever the hell he said. I enjoyed beating him twice. And what really makes you know that LaFleur was annoyed by it is that Peter Schrager, who's who's boys with all the Shanahan tree, posted on X. I did some digging, and Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur don't know each other. And the problem is that Ben Johnson's not Dan Campbell. He's different. He's in a good way and but whatever. He's just a different. We're all different. He's not talk shit guy. He's scheme it up guy. And then he hired really good defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, as his defensive coordinator. So, I don't know where the Bears juice is going to come from, because I think he kind of tried to be that guy in his press conference, and I don't think he's that guy. So I'm a little on alert suddenly for the Ben Johnson era. I'm a little on alert. A little bit of a red flag there, that introductory press conference. Comment: 1, solid returns. 2, fourth place schedule. 3, Santa Clara Super Bowl. 4, no holdouts. I don't want to say definitively that I was the first person to talk about the fourth place schedule, but I might have been. Thank you for that comment, Lucy. I'm not taking credit away from Lucy's power hours. But Kevin, super chat. Eagles went 4-12 in 2020. Traded Carson Wentz. Turned those picks into their current roster by trading down. 49ers should use the 25 draft for something similar. Yeah, let's look at the Eagles draft. Now, you don't have what did they get for Carson Wentz? Which time was this? They got they got a first and a third. Amazing. What a swindle. Okay. Howie Roseman he's a G. Eagles draft history, Football Reference. And lost they lost Kelsey. That was the other thing that happened. All right, so 2020 they got Hurts in 20. So in 21, which is the draft that Kevin's talking about here, they get Devontae Smith at number 10. So Niners are drafting 11. They get Landon Dickerson at 37 in the second round. Now, sneakily, they get a defensive lineman by the name of Milton Williams in the third round, who's played in more games, actually, than Devontae Smith and Landon Dickerson. They got Kenneth Gainwell in the fifth round. They got a defensive end in the seventh round. He played like 4 years for him. He played a little bit this year. Patrick Johnson. Okay. Next draft, they get Jordan Davis at 13 because he falls. They get Cam Jurgens. So offensive line again, another offensive line starter. They got a tight end who plays a lot for them. He's not tight end 1, but Grant Calcaterra. They did a good job at a 6th round tight end. They go Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. They go offensive line. So they added. Well, he's not a starter though, but he's played a lot for them. How many offensive line starters have they added in the draft? The Niners could really use their Landon Dickerson. I think that much is clear. Well, I guess they got their Landon Dickerson. They got their Pooney. They need their center. Comment: Ben Johnson is more Sam Bankman-Fried than Dan Campbell. Comment: Guy, not one O-line holding call against the Niners in the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, like the Sacramento Kings versus the Lakers didn't have the calls. Benali, y'all are very optimistic about no holdouts. Purdy is looking for his Instagram password as we speak to unfollow the 49ers. Comment: ready for an open Saturday coming up. Not watching the Super Bowl. Teams I don't care about. Kansas City. Mahomes I don't care about. Since when do you have to care to watch the Super Bowl? 70% of the people that truly 70% of the people that watch the Super Bowl don't actually care. I know this because when you take away 70% of Super Bowl viewership, you get conference championship viewership. That's the 35 million that watch the conference championship. Although, what is this? Oh, did you guys catch, by the way, that I almost perfectly nailed? I said 21.8 or 21.5 for the national championship rating, and it was 21.1. Let's guess this rating before it comes out. I'm going to say it's not going to be 30% of the Super Bowl number. It's going to be much bigger than that. I'm going to say this game got, I'm thinking the key, you don't lose points for going over, but you don't want to go over. It makes it a little, I'm going to say that 60, I'm going to say 64 million people watch the AFC Championship game. How about that number? That's a big freaking number. I'm going to put a decimal on it because I'm going to say 64.3 people watch the AFC Championship game. And I guess we do the NFC. I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't care. I'm not going to do the NFC. Pick 11 has to be an impact starter. Round 2 and 3 go O-line. Bruce says Eagles Chiefs will be an embarrassing game. Initial Super Bowl prediction. Well, frankly, as somebody with a friend who is a extremely obnoxious Eagle fan, I will be rooting for Mahomes to three-peat. I love greatness. I just don't think I'll be able to stop Siriani getting a ring. I don't think I could take it. I'd be very happy for the people of Philadelphia. Let's see. I will early prediction. I don't know. These predictions are all the same. 30-26. I think it's going to be a good game. But that'll be my prediction. Mahomes. It is rigged anyway. I know comment. I know probably today is not the day to fight that battle, but you don't get to pick what day you get to fight the battles. I hate to be this guy. Really, I take no pleasure in being this guy because I am pro accountability. But I laugh at what people think accountability is sometimes. The standard for officials, and today, let me be very clear. Replay assist should get it right. The on-field guys, they're just like the players and the coaches. Shit's moving 1,000 miles an hour. They're closer to the coaches than they are the players. But you're going to get stuff wrong. I talked to these. I have not called an NFL game and gone on the field and talked to the NFL officials before the game, but I've talked to plenty of college Final Four national championship basketball officials. Before every game I do, I go on the court and talk to them. And before every football game I do, I go onto the field and talk to them. I don't think they're capable of. They're trying so hard to get it right and getting it wrong so much because it's hard. Now, that said, the stat about the holding is pretty crazy. There was a stat in the national championship game in college football. The Notre Dame had not been called for an offensive line holding since their first game of December. To miss two different spots, I can totally see how one guy spotted it wrong and another guy spotted it a different place. We're talking about 6 inches. They're each 25 yards. But replay assist, we got to get that right. Here's the thing I don't understand either about. So there's a guy who's really smart. And his name's Sam Schwartzstein. And Sam played football at Stanford with Andrew Luck. And Sam is he's in charge. When you watch Amazon Prime games, like Thursday Night Football, he's the guy that's in charge of all the Amazon analytics. So when you see, you can watch an alternative broadcast and it shows you where all the blitzers are and all that stuff, Sam is in charge of that. The engineers are all in Israel, by the way. But Sam's in charge of that system. He's a super smart guy. Before that, Sam worked in the sorry, Sam, I can't remember. With AAF or XFL or UFL, whichever one of them doesn't exist. AAF. No, it was XFL, which does exist. But regardless, they merged with the UFL. AAF. I don't know. Anyway, he was in charge. Sam is the guy. I'm burying the lead. Sam is the guy that invented the dynamic kickoff that we have today in the NFL. He invented it and instituted it in his spring football league. So he's very smart. And, if anyone's going to figure out how to spot the football electronically, it's going to be Sam. And the biggest challenge, and I've talked to him about, the biggest challenge is when the person is down. How does the ball know when it's down? And what I would say is it doesn't have to. Let the judgment of the replay still be up to the person watching the replay to figure out where did forward progress stop, or when did the person's knee or elbow go down, or when did their foot go out of bounds. And everything, I'm coming up with a very rudimentary solution. I'm sure there's a better one, but let's just say, for the sake of picturing in your mind, everything's time coded. The ball location is time coded, and I think he's down there. Pause. All right, let's go to the ball location. Same time code. Where's the ball? Where's the sensors? You just have sensors all over the stadium. You got sensors in the ball. Now you have to have them the thing is, the whole inside of the ball would have to be lined with sensors. Because you can't have it in the middle of the ball because you just get the tip of the ball. But that's the solution. I don't know why don't we do that? That would solve that. You're like, I don't know if that technology without question exists. That's expensive. But that technology exists. The guy who I've mentioned him a few times before, he's been on the show actually, Casey Jacobson, great college basketball player, fantastic analyst, does an awesome job. I was with him yesterday calling a game on Fox. Casey has, for those of you who live in the, if you're in Phoenix and if you're in Arizona, but if you're going to Phoenix, if you got kids, you're in the Phoenix area, check out Casey's business. He invented this incredible business. It's called Arena 23. And it's active. I don't even know it's active sports games for kids. So it's a huge facility. It's imagine a trampoline park, but instead of trampolines, it's got all these games that you participate in. So there's a field goal kicking game where you kick the ball through the uprights at targets and you get a score, and you have a wristband, and the monitor knows who did the best score, and there's a leaderboard up, and then you go to a punching bag and it dodges as you try to hit it. Then there's a soccer goal and the goalie moves. It's electronic. He invented all these crazy games. And when you kick the ball, he explained it to me. When you kick the ball to the upright, you just have the sensors that can sense where the football is and assign a number of points based on, does the football go down the middle? Does it go high? Does it go low? Does it go to the right? Whatever. It's there. It exists. In a kids' recreation center in Phoenix. Other sports have it. The Olympics had it for volleyball. Oh, I didn't know the Olympics had it for volleyball. I mean, the tennis Hawkeye technology is crazy. Yeah. Anyway, that I'm sure there are many of you who are watching or listening to this who are much smarter than me at this, and not only know that the technology exists, but actually could explain it better than that. All I need is one engineer. AI and cameras and sensors. There we go. That's always the answer, right? It's always the answer. We've got some early prize picks lineup options out there. Mahomes. Oh, know this for the Super Bowl. Looks like Mahomes is going to be at least right now, go jump on it. Code guy. Use the code guy, make a $5 lineup, immediately get $50 into your account. Right now, it looks like Mahomes is just half a passing yard. Saquon, 117.5 rushing yards. I'll make an early lineup right here. I'm going to go more. Ooh, that's a lot. I'm going to go less. Less than 117.5 rushing yards for Saquon in the Super Bowl. I'm going to go more, 35.5 rushing yards for Jalen Hurts. I'm going to get Devontae Smith or AJ Brown. I'm going to go Devontae Smith, more than 51.5 receiving yards. I'm going to go Xavier Worthy, less than 58.5. Kelsey. What are we going to do with Kelsey here? 62.5. I'm going to go less. Now, this line, I've already used my well, I don't think it'll let me make this lineup because I've already used my promo and I've spent too much. Yeah, so I can't use the Mahomes, but you can. If you haven't done it yet, go to Prize Picks, use the code GUY, make a $5 lineup. You'll immediately get $50 into your account, whether you win or lose that lineup. And then you'll be able to jump in and make take Mahomes more than half a passing yard as part of your lineup. And then you only need to hit one more. Let's go Hurts more than, I already picked him. Okay. So we're going to stick with that. I'm going to make this 50 pay. Oh, well, I actually made it 250 to pay 1,500, but I'm not going to do that. I'll do 50 to pay 300. Is that on a flex? That's on a flex. So if I only have to get 4 of the 5 right, if I get 3 right, I still win. Or if I go all 5, 50 pays 800. Now, early on, I would have taken that big swing for no reason. They're going to give me a safety net. I'm going to take the safety net. Hurts does get sacked a lot. Well, I already made the lineup, so you can go under on the rushing total if you want. We're watching history. You are watching history. Thank you, Timmy B. So there you go. Now I'll make this week. Like I'll do some NBAs. I'll do some college basketball. NBA first half. Ooh. Who does Michigan plays Penn State? We got some good. We have basketball. Anyway, so there you go. Prize Picks. Code GUY. Make a $5 lineup. You'll immediately get $50 into your account. Some MLB, some season-long MLB. Paul Skenes. Did you see there was a kid who won? There was this one-of-one Paul Skenes, the pitcher for the Pirates, baseball card. And the Pirates said, whoever pulls this card, we're going to offer them 30 years of season tickets to the Pirates. And then Paul Skenes' famous girlfriend, Livy Dunn, said, you can come watch a game with me. And Paul, you can play a softball game on the field. That was one of the things. So this 11-year-old kid from Colorado pulls this card. And 11-year-old kid, what do you think? 30 years of season tickets to the Pirates? Not shockingly, the kid has decided to decline the Pirates offer And I have not seen yet what the projection, what Darren Ravel's going to end up paying this kid for the card, but he's not selling the card, or he is selling the card. He's not taking the Mahomes over half a roughing penalty. Am I right? Comment. We're in a new era of sports. And because of that, I think most people don't care about seeing greatness. They want to see their team have a chance to win a championship. I don't think that's any different than it's ever been. I think you have your casual fans for whom greatness resonates. And the reason greatness resonates for a casual fan is because it's an easy storyline to follow. You don't have to learn new guy. Who's this guy? Who's that? No, it's Mahomes. I know him from last year. And I know, his mom and Kelsey's mom and Mahomes' wife and Taylor. And it's easy. So that's the fan of, 30 other teams or not a fan at all. It's just you got to make your storylines easy. It's what I think has really hurt the NBA. Having your star players move around constantly is bad for your business if you are in the storyline business. And if you're a pro sports organization, you're in the storyline business. Is it easy for people to understand who they want to win and who they want to have lose and have a rooting interest in the game? Oh, I like him. I want to see him win. Oh, I hate him. I want to see him lose. That's most of it. Now, yeah, obviously fantasy and gambling and all that stuff is massive. But the way you get from 30 million viewers to 50 million viewers to 70 million viewers to 115 million viewers is casual fans. It's not the hardcore fans. We know how many hardcore fans there are. There's 19 million of them watching games every day. But 7 different Super Bowls with 14 different quarterbacks is not better than Mahomes being in the thing. Now, we'll see. I know some people are already predicting on this chat record lows. People are tired of this, blah, blah, blah. We'll see. I do think like Washington, Buffalo would have felt cool. I think Washington would have felt really cool and fresh. Buffalo also. But the Ravens would have felt fun. Anyway. All right. On that note. Wow. Here we are. Going for the three-peat. Robert Saleh has work to do. That'll be a big storyline this week. This offseason, this draft. I'm just glad he's back. And so are they, because they did not have a great plan B. I don't know what it was, and I'm not sure they do either.